Well, if you don't know who this is, you've been under a rock the whole football season. I'm not just saying college football, but the entire football season. In fact, the entire sports season since about last year with Jackson State. We know who that is. That is prime time Deion Sanders. Once upon a time, he was Neon Deion. Now he's Coach Prime. You know, everybody likes to talk about how arrogant, sometimes he's overconfident, he's this, he's that. The one thing that has been constant about Deion Sanders, and this is from a guy who is a Steeler fan and I can't stand the Dallas Cowboys, but I have tremendous respect for Deion Sanders. And the reason why is the thing that doesn't really get talked about him as it should is Deion Sanders has a work ethic that is second to none. In fact, two of the greatest work ethics when it comes to the NFL would be, in my opinion, Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice. Those two guys worked harder than anybody in the NFL. And it doesn't get talked about. They talk about, oh, well, Deion, he was blessed with all this great speed and the great athleticism, and that is very true, no question about it. But he also balanced that with a work ethic and a hunger to be the best. And he was the best shutdown corner. In fact, let's face it, he was the very first shutdown corner we've ever seen. Now, was he the greatest tackler in the world? Absolutely not. But in his prime, it's funny that I use the term prime, obviously. One side of the field was off limits directly because of Deion Sanders. And let's face it, his prime was basically in Atlanta, the one season with San Francisco, and the first 3 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. That was really Deion's prime as a football player, playing the cornerback position. He has already taken over an outfit that won only one game. In fact, they were 1-11 last year, the Colorado Buffaloes. They've already won 2 games. So in my opinion, Deion Sanders has already accomplished what he was supposed to accomplish. Now we know he's looking for much more than that. And I believe that Deion Sanders, we're going to learn a lot more about the Colorado team when they face UFC in, I believe, week number 5. And right now, to me, the top 3 guys in the Heisman race, and it's much too early, of course, but right now, Shedeur Sanders, Caleb Williams from the aforementioned USC Trojans, and the two-way player. Those are the guys who right now are in the lead in the Heisman discussion. And we'll learn a lot more about that team then. Now, very quietly, Shiloh Sanders, another of Deion's sons, has played very well on the defensive end, but you haven't really heard a lot about him. But you will the longer the season goes. I really commend the job that Coach Prime is doing with these young men and the way that he treats these young men as young men. He challenges them to be their best, and he is very much a father figure to not only obviously his sons, but to all those guys on that team. Obviously, he's not going to treat them all the same, but just like Coach Jimmy Johnson, he's going to treat them all fairly. And that's the thing that I like the most about how Deion Sanders has gone about his business with the University of Colorado. And you know what? For all of his so-called detractors and how they talk about, oh, he should have never left Jackson State. Look at how Jackson State did Deion Sanders dirty on the way out and then tried to undercut him. Deion Sanders had every right to leave and do what he's doing with Colorado. And you know what? I'm rooting for him big time. And I will continue to root for Coach Prime. That's just my 2 cents on this situation. UncClaude signing out. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, stay safe, and of course, God bless. And all the best to Deion Primetime Sanders, his sons and his family, and the Colorado Buffaloes. Take care.